Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for this first edition of Vision, the show completely dedicated to the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm Lindsay Morshauser-Poe and I will be your host for this season. And when we were scheduling the show, we couldn't think of a better guest to invite to start off the show than our current interim dean, Dr. Rick Travis. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I'm here.
Absolutely. So, my first question is pretty basic. Tell us about the College of Arts and Sciences.
Well, the College of Arts and Sciences, as I think many people know, is the largest college at Mississippi State. It's also the most diverse. 14 departments, over 20 majors. Right. So there's a lot going on in our college that I think really contributes not just to the whole mission of the university, but to very deeply to our students and our faculty. Right.
And half of that College of Arts and Sciences is liberal arts. And the history of liberal arts, really the roots of it are in academia. Can you tell us about how that application in today's society is important?
Sure. If you go back to the ancient Romans, ancient Greeks, there was this discussion originally in the liberal arts of focusing on things like logic, rhetoric, grammar. It was focused on thinking and discussing things. Aristotle talked about the idea of being a citizen as someone who was informed about a lot of issues and could carry on a coherent discussion and informed discussion. And so we take this idea of Aristotelian citizenship as being of having a public that's informed about a variety of things. You take this notion of classical liberal arts training. In the medieval ages, music, mathematics, and astronomy came to be also added to this idea. The goal of liberal arts was to educate someone who was well-rounded, who had knowledge about a lot of different things. And this is something that we in arts and sciences are still very much focused on, is the idea of creating graduates who know a lot about different things, because when you think about the next 40 years of their work career, they're going to be pursuing jobs that do not exist today. So in our sense, in our thinking in arts and sciences, it doesn't make sense to train someone to get a job for the next 3 years of their life. We're looking at preparing someone to be able to navigate 40 years in the working world.
Wow, that's so interesting, and that's a great way to explain that large and diverse college that we are a part of, right? With that, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what are some benefits of being such a large and diverse college?
Well, we know that being around people who are different than us causes us to think about new things in different ways, causes us to be more creative in some of the things we do. And this is what's happening in our college with our students. By having them be around so many different faculty members, and in fact, faculty members being around people who are different than them, we're giving them a breadth of knowledge that's vital. And just think about yourself. You're very knowledgeable in atmospheric sciences. Sure. You're also very knowledgeable in communication strategies. So you're a broadcast meteorology professor here at Mississippi State.
Correct.
Someone who knows just a lot about one of those things could not do what you do. And so this is one of the benefits we get in our college of having people that have this range of skill sets.
Sure, yeah, and it is so important, being able to communicate well in today's society and always. Super important.
I mean, you think about preparing someone to be an on-air meteorologist. They're not just weather readers. Right. These are people who understand the science of meteorology and who can also communicate this, because they're skilled in that art, communicate this to whether it's farmers or football fans or people planning a family vacation. So they can give this information to people in a way that they need it to digest it. And so without this multiplicity of backgrounds, they wouldn't be successful.
Right. Now on the flip side of that, are there any challenges that the college faces because of the diversity?
Well, I think we often face it with our own students of trying to convince them of why they need to be diverse. A geological sciences student, they'd probably just want to study geology. But if they're going to understand the implications of fracking, of these new technologies trying to extract energy from the earth, they need to understand the sociological, political, and public policy ramifications of what's going on. And this is part of what we're insisting they learn by having this diverse core. We also face the challenges sometimes with people around the state who don't quite understand the diversity of what's going on in arts and sciences, that they want to pigeonhole us. And well, all you do is teach freshmen and sophomores,
right,
isn't it?
Okay. And I want to turn the conversation a little bit about you really quick. You've been associate dean, you're current interim dean. What's the most fulfilling part about your position?
Getting to know the faculty and some of the exciting things they're doing in the creative endeavors, in their research, getting to look at these people and understand what they're doing in all sorts of breakthroughs, whether it's creative activities, breakthroughs in scientific areas. You know, just this last week, we've had new information in microbiology. We are now preparing the cover for the Organometallics journal, which is the leading journal in that area. And then all the many things going on in your area in meteorology. Just this breadth of things. It's just fun hanging out with faculty and with students who are doing so many interesting things.
Awesome. We didn't even get to cover all of my questions, or really half of what the College of Arts and Sciences covers, and we'll be able to do that in this show, thankfully. But we've got to toss it to break. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll have more after the break.
We all depend on accurate weather forecasts to plan our day. That's why Mississippi State University is teaching students to forecast the future using real-world news sets as classrooms, putting scientific discoveries in meteorology to the test, while honing on-air reporting skills real-time with local TV stations. And we do it so well that at any given moment, 3 out of 4 weather forecasts across the nation are being delivered by MSU-trained meteorologists who are helping people make crucial decisions that impact their safety, working to ensure business continuity, and in many cases, saving lives. Predicting the future? That's what we're preparing for every single day, so that you can prepare for your day.
Hey, welcome back to Vision. We now have in studio Karen Brown. Welcome.
Thank you.
She's the Director of Communications for the College of Arts and Sciences, among many things that she does at the university. So tell us about that job. I know people probably say, what do you do?
Exactly, all the time. It's hard to describe, but what I tell most people is I'm a cheerleader for arts and sciences. And I really feel like I've got the best job ever. As Dean Travis mentioned in the first segment, learning about what our faculty and our students are doing and then telling that story. So I think of myself as a storyteller, getting the word out about what we do, what makes us different, what makes us unique, and making sure people understand the story of arts and sciences.
And like we discussed with Dean Travis, some challenges come with that because of its diversity and that it's so big. What challenges do you face in telling the story?
It's funny, we've had students that graduate and not know they're in the College of Arts and Sciences. And so we thought we've got to do something while they're here, but also tie in with our alums, our faculty, so we've got something that brings us together. And that was a struggle because so many of the other units on campus have something that really distinguishes them or a symbol. So one thing we're trying to promote, if you haven't seen it yet, you will see it soon, is focusing on who we are. And the focus is the and. The ampersand.
And the ampersand, and now you all have a hashtag, Discover Your And.
Yes.
And so that's how you came up with that hashtag. It's all about the ampersand.
Exactly. Right. And what I love about that is it's one of those discussions over a desk in our office where we were struggling with that identity. And then collectively, all at one time, we all kind of just honed in on this, discover your and in the college. And we said, that's it. It's exactly what we've been trying to say.
And what do you exactly mean with that hashtag? I know it has a special meaning.
So one of the great things about being in the College of Arts and Sciences is the and, being able to bring two things together. For example, I can remember when I was a student, I was broadcasting and I was public relations, and a lot of people didn't see how those would come together. It's the best thing I ever did because I'm dealing with media every day. And how better to deal with media than knowing exactly what it takes to be on the other side of the fence.
Right.
But the other thing is you can also and your passions. I love it when our students say, I'm interested in sports and I'm interested in broadcasting, for example, and then you can work for a broadcast entity. Or I'm a chemist who also has a huge passion for finding a cure for something. So the and just symbolizes everything that you can do, you want to do.
Mm-hmm. And I know it's a big year.
Yes.
60th anniversary. So tell us what you have planned. I'm sure it's a lot.
Well, and it's interesting. We decided against a big gala, a big event, and really putting the focus on our people. And that was actually a request of Dean Travis. And I think it's a fabulous idea to put the focus on who are we. And so the idea that we had was 60 stories for 60 years. So it was a long process, but we really sought out 60 different alumni that could tell our story. For example, last week, John Cohen was one of our alums.
Okay.
I think a lot of people don't think of a baseball coach, see there's the and again, being an alum of the College of Arts and Sciences. And who tells our story better than our students, our faculty, and our alums?
Yeah, do you have any other examples of alumni coming up, or that I know there was maybe one before Coach Cohen that you all highlighted?
Annalise Parks,
Okay.
who was a homecoming queen here at Mississippi State, also broadcast meteorology. Sid Salter, who's in our Office of Public Affairs. And what was really neat is when our staff were getting all of the different responses from the alums, getting excited and saying, listen to this quote, listen how the college changed their life. We wouldn't have known that had we not interviewed and asked for these different stories.
Right.
And they're just fabulous. So look
Good.
for those to be coming within this semester.
And we can find those on all of the social media, Twitter, Instagram, and whatnot. Also, the website.
Yes, so on our website at the top right side, if you click there, we've got the Discover Your And hashtag, and we're putting our stories there. And as you mentioned, we're on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. And so, once again, we want to communicate. We want it to be an open dialogue with our A&S family.
Right. And there's also a Vision magazine. Can you talk about that just really briefly? Because that's part of why Vision, the TV show, right,
Yes.
is called Vision.
So we do a publication 2 times a year, and we do a thematic magazine. And what I mean by thematic is we find a common theme and then we try to build all of our stories around it, which again to me is case in point of how diverse and all the different things our college can provide. Sure. So we will be doing an anniversary edition, of course, for the 60th anniversary, telling our stories and taking a look back, but taking a look forward. That's what I love is arts and sciences is grounded so back in history, but we're moving forward.
Okay, we've got to go. Join us next time.